And I get to throw out the first pitch July 2nd. Is that
Yeah,
right?
July
I cannot
2nd.
wait.
We're going to evaluate you. You might be in the
The
Legends game
question
starter.
is whether
Yeah,
you're
right.
going to throw the slider or the heater.
The heater, yeah. It'll probably be the changeup. I'm already nervous about it.
No, you'll be fine.
I love it. Well, joining us today at the table is Jamie Toole, one of the owners of the Springfield Lucky Horseshoes. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, and I'm happy to be here. Talk a little horseshoes, baseball, and very excited about the future of the shoes. It's a short season. Our rookies we call our interns rookies. It's their first year in baseball.
Okay.
They're like, oh, this is such a grind. I'm like, we play like 30 games. You know? I come from a place where we work 30 straight spring training games and then a 70 minor league games. So it's a short season. We do try to book in with some program like our Legends of Baseball, former Cubs versus former Cardinals. We do that in August. But yeah, we're in the heart of it now, and June and July are fun months for us at the ball yard.
So what kind of guys or people come back for the Legends game? You mentioned Kim Staff is going to play. Is that right?
Yeah, so
because I don't know about this.
Yeah. So we typically sign, 4 to 8 per team on former major leaguers.
Okay.
Yeah.
This year it's an all-star theme. So we just signed Carlos Baerga, who played for the Indians, now the Guardians for a long time.
Sure.
The goal this year is all former All-Stars. There will be some Cardinals and some Cubs.
Awesome.
And then we supplement the rosters with local folks in our Springfield community that are competitive and want to play a little bit. And it's a really, really fun night at the ballpark. And we raise money this year, Washington Street Mission.
Oh, yeah.
And also, I believe, Boys and Girls Club.
Okay.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That
That's
is
really
pretty
cool.
And I get to throw out the first pitch July 2nd. Is that
Yeah,
right?
July
I cannot
2nd.
wait.
We're going to evaluate you. You might be in the
The
Legends game
question
starter.
is whether
Yeah,
you're
right.
going to throw the slider or the heater.
The heater, yeah. It'll probably be the changeup. I'm already nervous about it.
No, you'll be fine.
I love it. Well, and we sure appreciate the opportunity to be involved with you guys and engaged with you in the community at the level that we can. And we're looking forward to that night in July.
Same.
And we just see some cool things. I don't remember exactly, but I think you came to Springfield 2020, 2021.
2021,
as a part
the fall.
owner.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
fall of 21. Tell us a little bit about your journey, how you ended up here.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
your involvement with baseball.
Well, it all started for me in 1998. I'm from West Columbia, South Carolina. Grew up, never thought I would leave. I love South Carolina. To this day, love to get back home. And went to the University of South Carolina, recognized, wait a minute, you can work in sports? They'll pay you to do this? Like, wow, if I do this, I'll never work a day in my life. So I got into working for the local minor league baseball team, Capital City Bombers. They were a New York Mets affiliate. And honestly, just fell in love with it. I thought they called you back then ballpark rat. You just were at the ballpark and you lived there. You never wanted to leave. And I hated it. I loved showing up early and leaving. They would have to tell me you got to go home.
The gates are closing.
Yeah, it was a blessing for me because I see so many folks who really don't know what they want to do or what their passion is. And boy, early on for me, I knew working in minor league baseball, and I've got a chance to work for 3 major league clubs, but the minor league side is so much more fun because you just never know what you're going to do from, working with city officials or the mayor to pulling the tarp on the field to cleaning up the trash. It's just such a fun, unique experience every summer.
Yep.
Sorry.
I was just going to say, did you grow up playing competitive baseball?
I did. I was an average player. Like I made an all-star team or here or there, and in my we didn't have Little League. We had Dixie Youth Baseball.
Okay.
So I think probably a part of that. Number one, the connection to my dad, just playing, tossing ball out in the yard. It was our thing.
Yep.
And then when I was at what we would call Little League, we actually won the Dixie Youth World Series in Texarkana, Texas.
Oh yeah.
So actually, we were down 3-0 to Florida. We were playing as South Carolina, and playing on your home state with that state name across your chest was really cool.
I bet.
We won on a walk-off grand slam.
Wow.
So I'm 11 years old.
Yep.
And I do think that played a part
sure.
into they had a parade for us when we got back to town.
That's
and,
cool.
At 11, that's a major influence.
Yeah, sure.
Probably subliminally. And then I get to college, I'm like, you can work in sports, and then I'm working at the ballpark. And but I was a decent player, but certainly couldn't play at the collegiate level.
Sure. Gotcha.
Yeah, that's cool. So going back to your comments about being involved in minor league baseball, I have to imagine that one of the stresses, but also one of the fun things about it is you never know what your team's going to look like, right?
For sure.
Even in season, guys are getting moved up to the next level. But that had to be a unique challenge, but also kind of invigorating.
Yeah, and in minor league baseball, it's unique because you may have a great team. Right. The irony is the better they perform, the more likely they are to move up.
Sure.
And here's a little bit similar because a lot of our kids are in the portal and they're looking for new homes or they're playing junior college, trying to get to a 4-year school. And in fact, we just had a kid 2 days ago sign with Xavier, and they're like, "We want you on campus now." So he's got to leave, and that's just sort of a part of it is that roster turnover and having that wide net of Plan B, C, D, and we being in our 4th year, we've had quite a few connections here. It's a little easier with summer college than it was in the minor leagues because in the minor leagues, you really don't control. They're going to send you who they're going to send you. That's an organizational decision.
Sure.
But certainly it makes it challenging for fans that are when the team's playing really good and next thing you know your 4 top hitters have been moved up. It's a little disappointing.
Sure.
Right. Yeah, it makes sense. So the makeup of the team here, you just mentioned that a lot. All college players, guys between high school and college. What's the makeup look like?
So during the COVID year, the league allows now 4 high school seniors.
Okay,
they have to be signed and going to play, whether it be junior college, NAIA Division 2, 3, 1. Then for college seniors, and they did that to help with the rosters, just because there were a lot of kids not playing during COVID. And we've kept that rule, but primarily for us, every one of our players is playing college baseball or going to play college baseball.
Okay.
Do you provide housing for the players if they're not from this area?
Yeah, we have, I think, 16 host families at this point, which is a really cool deal where they house the kids and they get tickets, and we do host family appreciation. And
cool.
That's kind of a fun part of this level of seeing the kids. But we do focus also on local players. I mean, there's a talented bunch of players from this region. And we try our best to make sure that it has a Springfield regional appeal. I think this year we have 7 or 8 that are right here.
Is that right?
From Springfield.
Okay.
Bartletti,
that's neat.
You know, Enrico Veach is just killing it for us. I think he's leading the league in batting average and hits. We try our best to look first here at Springfield, Lincoln Land, UIS. And every year's a little bit different based on the roster situation.
Well, it seems like I've heard you say a lot about community. You know, since we've talked this morning even, and talk a little bit about how Springfield has been as a community supporting. Have they supported your baseball team and that piece of it.
Well, I think I want to talk about how we got here. We went back to being in Jupiter, running spring training for the Cardinals and Marlins, and when the Cardinals, I'd see quite a number of spring training season ticket holders from this region, Peoria, Springfield. Okay. Cardinal Nation runs deep, you know, and my wife's a Cubs fan, so I'm sure their side runs deep as well. But meeting people and seeing that Cardinal love for baseball, you know, the Cardinals are just a unique organization. I would say Yankees, Red Sox, Cardinals, Cubs probably in the passion, Dodgers. But we knew we wanted to, when we decided, which is a unique story, when we decided to get into buying a team, we wanted to go to a community in the Midwest. There's some family ties. My in-laws were outside of Indianapolis, and I have 4 children from my first marriage in Chicagoland suburbs. So we knew Indiana, Illinois. There was something about Springfield when we started looking at it, and to be candid with you, the history was not so great. And I thought this is where we want to go.
Yeah.
We wanted to go somewhere where it hadn't been easy and it hadn't seemed to click just yet. I have a saying, you don't want to follow Elvis on stage.
Right.
Sure.
So I think we'll talk a little bit about Savannah Bananas. I wouldn't want to have to follow them at a venue.
Sure.
But we felt like the core for us is, and our saying is, baseball is our platform, not our purpose.
Sure.
We felt like if we could connect with the community and make the ballpark experience about overall Springfield, make it look and feel like Springfield. You know, we're the Horseshoes because of the Horseshoes open face sandwich, and we have 4 or 5 craft beers from all of the local guys here. Every
I like that.
Anvil and Forge, Buzz Bomb, and Grain is our new one, and then of course Springfield Beer Company. So we're going to buy from Taraski. You guys are going to help us clean the ballpark and keep everything tidy and all that. That's the key. The ingredient is it has to be a part of this community, and that's what we've worked to do for 4 years now.
I like it.
Well, it is. It's certainly different today than it was 4 years ago. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I know visiting with you, I don't know what it was, 3 or 4 months ago out at the park, seeing the plans you have for the future are, it is a, I would probably use the word, I'll use the word drastic, a drastic change from what it used to be like to where you're headed. To walk into your facility and see where you've been, where you are today, and where you're going is pretty impressive.
I appreciate that. Coach Holtz, Lou Holtz, he was the Notre Dame coach, of course, and then he coached at South Carolina when I was there. He had a saying, we're not as good as we're going to be, but thank God we're not where we started. So I can tell you that's exciting.
Yeah.
But we do have a pretty solid vision for the future. And if you look at the North End, look at the rail project, look at Pillsbury, look at Lanford High School, the Amazon, I think there's a bright future. And to me, the community needs to be diverse all around. You know, we're excited about the Shills development. We're excited about anything positive that comes to Springfield, helps all of us that are, truly care about the community.
Yeah, I would agree with you. We become too divided when we,
or
at least
Why not us? Why not us?
Some of the talk, right? Versus anything good that happens here is good for all of us.
That's exactly right.
And I think you're exactly right. So it's been a fun and nice addition. While I know it's not brand new, it's certainly different than it was prior.
Well, just yesterday, I think we had 2,000 kids at the ballpark. Our friends at Dell's Popcorn, they're a great partner. They're Springfield, and that's a kind of a fun thing to see it grow and come together and feel the energy when people come to the ballpark and they recognize, wow, Mike Schmidt played here, and all those great Cardinal players, and there's so much history and tradition. And this is the centennial season of baseball there, so it's kind of an honor. But in our business, it's unique. You're just sort of the steward of the team for X amount of time.
Right.
With these sports properties, at some point somebody will own it or a different incarnation. And previous to us, several different groups. But we hope to be here for a long time and keep on for that vision that you mentioned with the renovation.
Yeah. The league that you're in, how many different teams are in that league? And you recently purchased another team, correct?
Our group, we 18. The Prospect League is a real strong league. What happened in 2020 is minor league baseball. COVID was the big topic, rightfully so. But kind of underneath that, MLB experienced some real significant changes. Their long-term agreement with what they called minor league baseball, which was all the minor league teams around the country, it expired. So MLB shifted that, and they took on all of the minor leagues themselves. And with that, they cut 40 different minor league teams.
Man, no kidding.
Clinton and Burlington in our league came over to the Prospect League. So this level is probably a lot more legitimate than it was, say, 4 or 5 years ago, relative to being a part of the player development side. We've had 4 or 5 scouts at several games this year, taking a look at the kids, and they're playing wood bat baseball. And the technology on the aluminum bats these days is, I probably could have been an all-star if I had this equipment.
So you guys play wood bat baseball?
We play wood bat.
Okay.
We play just like they're going to play.
Yeah,
It's essentially a minor league preparation type league.
Gotcha. Do you have any fun theme nights coming up that you like to?
We do.
Every night?
As my wife says, fun is subjective, and sometimes I think stuff is fun. But
That's pretty well said.
I try to make sure people are going to have a good time. Warm hot dogs, cold beer, and laughs. And so we have the Cap City Wine Mixer coming up. It's a play on the movie Step Brothers, one of my favorite movies with Will Ferrell.
That is a great
John C.
movie.
Reilly. So we have that, and we're doing 90s Joel. We just sort of go all in on the theme nights and make it fun for people that are there.
Okay.
We got Mini Kiss coming to rock the stadium here coming up, and we if you look at our promo schedule, shoesbaseball.com, there's something for everybody from seniors to kids, and we do try to push the envelope a little bit.
I like it.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
And aren't you guys doing this year, if I remember right, 3 or 4 nights that are focused on not-for-profits in the community?
Well, we do, and thankful to you guys for being part of that. So one of the things we want to recognize is most of our nonprofits are understaffed and overworked, and they're such an important part of our community, doing so much good work.
Yeah.
And we wanted to figure out a way to connect with them. And we hosted a little event called Summer Ball Summit, which is an idea exchange where we get together with other owners, operators, and we just talk. Hey, what's working for you? How are you connecting with your community? What's new? And so forth. And we kind of borrowed this idea. We call it MPO, Pack the Park. And we essentially go to those organizations, thanks to our sponsors, and we say, hey, we want to host you for a game. We want to have a representative throw out a first pitch, learn a little bit more about your organization, and bring some of your board or your clients or whoever you may be impacting. And it's been really, really fun to see. We've had great success with people wanting to be a part of it, and kind of like what you were talking about earlier, when they come to the ballpark, they'll say, I haven't been here in 10 years. This is wow, it's all painted up, and the new scoreboard and the new signage and all this fun new stuff. And it's been really fun to see that program, and that'll be something we hope to carry on for years and years.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, and I would agree. It's the not-for-profit, and I'm sure it's true in most communities, but having grown up here, been gone for some years and back, the not-for-profit community has always been a really big part of Springfield and Sangamon County for sure, and done a lot of good.
Yeah, and we don't want to take those folks for granted. You know, and in this day and age where everybody's up in arms about everything, there's some real solid work being done behind the scenes. They may not be front page material, but they're working hard, and if they were not there, our community would certainly recognize some of the challenges that would come to all of us.
For sure. Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, you mentioned earlier the Savannah team. Say a word or two, but I don't think all the folks who might tune into this may not be familiar. It's kind of an amazing, it's kind of a phenomenon, right?
I call it lightning in a bottle, and rightfully so. You just sort of tip your hat and you say, wow, that's incredible. But really, in a unique way, they have something to do with us being here. So in 2020, I was working for the Cardinals and the Marlins and Jupiter, and back then the economy was rolling. I don't know if you guys remember that, but we had people buying tickets from all over the country. We were about 20% ahead of our budget year in the second week of spring training. And then COVID comes, and of course I'm thinking, we're outdoors for baseball. We're not going to be shut down.
Fine.
We'll be fine. And then the next day we shut down, right? And then we started planning spring training 2.0, 3.0. And then what happened in May is the teams, the Cardinals and Marlins, decided to furlough a lot of our staff. And that was just a tough thing for me to be a part of, trying to reconcile, hey, we're all going through this pandemic, and these organizations are worth a lot of money. I always say if the Cardinals had owned us wholly, I don't think that happens. But divine intervention is I start doing walks, all the gyms were closed down, and start listening to Jesse Cole, who's the owner of the Savannah Bananas podcast. And the more I would listen, I would think, this guy has it, right? And not all what they are now is just leaps and bounds ahead of where they were in 2020. But I'm thinking, this guy's a fans first. He authentically cares about the people that are buying tickets and buying concessions and merchandise, and not spreadsheets or, hey, I wonder how much wonder what Chris and Brad will spend when they come to the ballpark, and they're going to be this number on this spreadsheet. If we can get them to spend $5 more for parking and then this and this. And it felt like the ingredients for something special. So one day after one of those walks and listening to Jesse's podcast, he doesn't do it anymore. I wish he still did, because it was some really good content. I got the nerve to ask my wife, I said, I think we should buy a baseball team. And sure enough, without missing a beat, she said, let's do it. And this is May or early June 2020. And here we are. We just got our second one over in Quincy. But, the Bananas, what they've done is they've made sports entertainment first and foremost. Baseball's second. And similarly, we have a say in baseball as our platform and not our purpose, right? We play baseball. A lot of places play baseball. But our purpose is to bring our community together, gives people a sense of pride, give them a fun logo. Hey, that's us. That's Springfield. That's the Horseshoe. That's who we are.
Right.
And we certainly still pay a lot of attention to the Bananas, and they've just done such a tremendous job. It's going to be exciting to see where they go and what happens next, because I'm sure they're already dreaming up the next things, right? So we're fans of those guys, and baseball needs more of that. I wish traditional baseball with the traditional baseball rules had more of that Bananas impact. My sense that's probably coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like in his organization, would a lot of those guys have been college baseball players?
College, pro.
College,
I think he gets former MLB guys.
Okay.
They sort of have a wide net. I've seen, like John Cena, WWE guy, went out and took it at bat, and they sort of cast. They're big enough now where they can pretty much get who they want to participate. It's phenomenon is exactly the right. It's just been awesome to see.
Maybe besides the first pitch, we can get a bat in your hands too.
We're gonna put him on the stilts, like the stilt guy.
The stilt guy. I'll start working on my stilts.
Or the breakdancing first base coach.
Yeah, right.
I can tell you who's not getting off stilts.
Yeah, you. I know. Oh man, that's good.
That is really good. So baseball's really been part of your life, your entire life. It feels like.
Yeah. Well, what's unique
cool.
is I'm not a huge baseball fan.
Really?
I'm a huge college football, and my youngest son is big into football. In fact, he's going to Wisconsin football camp. I love football.
Yeah,
and it's my passion. Baseball is fun to me, but to be honest with you, sometimes I find it boring.
Yeah.
Sometimes I find it's 1-0 and nobody scored anything.
Right.
So we try to take it and make it fun, and from the T-shirt cannon to throwing out the Cracker Jacks and having our players come off the field doing the flowers. That's straight out of the Bananas book. We try to look around and see what's going to happen tonight that people think that was really cool.
People will remember.
And
That's cool.
We do the play ball kid. SNK Auto, those guys sponsor. We just have a little kid start the game by yelling "play ball." The whole crowd loves it.
Oh, that's neat.
We do salute to service every second inning. 217 mortgage. We honor a veteran every game. Second inning.
Yeah, that
And
is awesome.
The entire stadium, including the visiting team, stands up and gives an ovation.
Oh,
Right?
that's
Those are the
cool.
moments
That's
where you
neat.
recognize we're actually all on the same team.
Yes.
We're
Yeah.
not really competing.
We're all together.
We're all on this together. And
Yeah.
I think the more of those moments we can create, the better. The better our communities. And it's really fun because I see more and more people at the ballpark every year. And again, we're not nearly where we want to be, but I think we're trending in a positive direction. Where hopefully people recognize this is not we're going to come to town and get out of town. Every other ownership group spend about 4 years and then go, 4 years and then go. And we're looking forward to breaking that cycle.
Yeah,
I
cool.
like that.
Well, I think I love what you said. It was before we started that you want people to have a place to go that's about community and kind of check out for a couple, 2.5 hours from just day-to-day stresses and stuff and have a memorable night to take home with them.
And not be so siloed up.
Yeah.
Not be so, hey, if I don't agree with this, then we can't like each other. We got to learn as a society to come back together. And music, concerts, the state fair is a great one. All these things that bring people together. We need more of those things where, again, at the end of the day, we all, we care about our families. We want to live a positive, healthy life. We have so many similarities. Sometimes, the big things aren't really big. The things that divide us, we
Right.
think they are.
Yeah, but
Because
they're
we
not.
get into our corners. But yeah, we want people to come to the ballpark. Again, cold beer, warm hot dogs, smiles, fun. And I always love to stand at the exit gate. My wife and I stand most every game, and we say, hey, thank you for coming. And the people will say, God, this fireworks is the best fireworks I've ever seen, or thank you
that's
for
cool.
the Horace bobblehead, or thank you for this. And it's funny because we're getting way more back from the folks that are coming to the games than we're giving them. And it's fun because I think this recipe is sustainable. And, the very first year, I was so nervous when we unveiled the name.
Yeah.
I mean, I was just like, probably more nervous. Don't tell my kids this, but when they were born, I was just like, we're building this organization, right, and this name, and they're going to. Springfield said this is what they want, but I don't know if we show them if they're going to want it. And we were just blown away.
That's
42
terrific.
days we sold merchandise in all 50 states.
Oh, that's great.
That's
we
awesome.
continue.
No kidding.
We'll sell merchandise all over the country. Every week we sell from some state, California, Wisconsin, all over Florida. Just this week.
Yeah, that's cool.
Or last week.
And I remember us talking, this has been probably several months, the way time flies. Season tickets are not even comparable today to what they were four or 5 years ago, right?
Well, and that's the community and the corporate partners,
cool, though.
folks like you guys buying into, hey, we like this. This is a good thing for our community. More of this. And well over 400 of those. And I think we started out with like 18.
Yeah, that's terrific.
That's
18.
pretty.
Yeah.
That's
And-
pretty substantial. You look at those
and then,
numbers.
Well, there's a lot of people that say, well, why don't you just give away all the tickets and the people will buy the food and beverage? Well, the reality is what you're trying to do is protect the value of what you want to do so you can reinvest in scoreboards and beer gardens and new, fresh things. We just added a brand new backstop this year, and we're constantly trying to work on the stadium. And for us, it's about making it better each and every day. How do
Gotcha.
we get a little bit better? And then next thing you know, you turn around and we're hosting the state championship again, which is one of our goals. We're bringing University of Illinois to play UIS, which is one of our goals.
good.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So when is
that?
We're working on all of that.
Gotcha, cool.
We're going to need to get the turf.
Gotcha.
That's the next.
That's your next big step,
The next
right?
big step is the turf, and we're working with a negotiation right now to try to get the ballpark into basically a fundraising organization where we can work on grants and work on naming rights and things like that we could really take the next step with the field turf. And
Yeah, cool.
I'm excited. I think most everyone now is in a good position thinking this makes sense. Let's get involved here.
Well, after 4 years, I think a lot of people see it and say, this is working.
Yeah.
And this has the potential to continue to
I think
grow.
so too. I think this, to be candid with you, this is the first year I've ever felt like the momentum just really picked up.
Yeah.
And that's fun to see, and it's rewarding because, well, you guys know, I mean, you're in business every day. Every interaction has an impact on the future.
That's right.
Every single interaction.
so true.
And that's some days you're having bad days. Some days you're not the most pleasant to be around. But nonetheless, I'm very proud of the last 3 seasons. Bringing the All-Star game to town is a big deal. We try to be cognizant of making a positive economic impact on our community, too. Sure. We want to fill up hotel rooms. We want the visiting team staying here in Springfield. We want them to see the Presidential Library. We want them to go rub the nose, see the slide. There's so many cool things about our community that sometimes you take those things for granted. But we have a lot of folks that come to town. Oh, my God, I'm going to go rub the nose, or I'm going to go see the Presidential Library. That's kind of fun.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah, and I love that you call it our community.
Yeah.
Our,
I know.
You came here from Florida.
Well, and West Palm Beach is still home for us, but we live more calendar days out of the year by far here.
Yeah.
And we just had a new place, Ramona's over there, I was just bragging about. Again, anything good that happens in Springfield is good for us. And my wife and I, we just enjoy it. We try to go places, and we try to see the new things that are happening and catch other events that are happening. We went out to see the Queen cover band at UIS Entertainment. Had a blast. And Hoagland Center, we try to go to, we do the Fat Ass 5K every year, and we go to the state fair. So there's so many cool things about our community. I think sometimes we sort of forget about all the good. Well, if we just had this, or if we just had this, and there's a lot of positive things here.
Absolutely.
Agreed.
And we love it. We love it. Now,
Well
Quincy,
said.
we travel back and forth to Quincy a little bit now. But we have one of our partners that played football at QU. He's sort of running point guard with that team. And we try our best to stay focused on the shoes and making sure we don't take our eye off the prize of making really, now that the Bananas are not in summer college baseball, we want to be the most elite, summer college team down the line. And we're working towards that.
Yeah, it was terrific.
Pretty excited.
Cool. The makeup of your team, I'm curious. You got a bunch of kids that are playing college or are going to. A lot of, I know you mentioned a number of kids with Springfield roots. Where's the furthest kid who's from the furthest away?
Czech Republic. We have a kid from the Czech this year.
Is that right?
I can't say his last name, but his first name is Thaddeus. He texts me all the time. So they live out in Taylorville with the host family, and we have a partnership with the YMCA for all of our kids to work out there, and this is really a cool place for them. Well, Thaddeus, they don't want to drive all the way to Springfield, so he said, hey, can I get a gym membership out here? And I'm like, yeah, sure, go ahead. So we have 4 kids out there, and they all just sent me their receipt, and we can reimburse them for that. That's allowed.
Yeah, sure.
Well, he doesn't have Venmo because it's international.
Oh,
so I was like, I want to put all $1 bills there in your locker when you get back, just to show you got to get Venmo. But he's our first international player, but a lot of kids.
Any local kids?
Tons, yeah. Enrico Veach, Nolan Decker's from Jacksonville. Enrico played at Springfield High. Louis Bartletti is from right here in Springfield. Joe Catalano from Sherman. Jack Sweeney from Rochester.
Oh, wow.
A lot of, if you look at the roster, you'll see a lot of Springfield in this region. A couple guys, Lane Lorton from Chatham, Granger, another kid from Chatham. So we try our best to start there, focus.
Yeah.
Some days you're gonna have, or some years you're gonna have more.
Right.
It's just a numbers game. But I love this level because these kids are truly competing like every day, and it's a grind.
Yeah.
Right. Coming out of the college baseball season where you're going to play a 3-game weekend series, maybe a midweek game, but you're going to have 4 of the 7 days off, and then you're playing 6 out of 7 days, and you're on these bus trips. It's a grind.
Yeah.
And as I was telling one of the kids last night, hey man, wait till you get to the minor leagues and it's 140 games.
Right.
Yeah.
And the bus trips get
And
to
you're
be
busting all
12
those.
hours.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
That it's a different level. And a lot of the folks concentrate on, oh man, when they get to the big leagues, they get all this money. Well, the majority of them never get to the big leagues, right? So the majority of them are going through all this. It's truly a passion play.
Yeah.
And with baseball, like junior college players, NAIA, Division III, the talent is everywhere. In the old days, it used to be if you don't play Division I, you're probably not the most talented. Now, just playing time and the portal and so many of these moving parts, there's talent everywhere. Every MLB draft, you'll look and see D3 guys, D2 guys. It's not like that silo of Division I or bust type guys.
Yeah.
In fact, our junior college kids are playing the hardest for us right now because they're trying to make that step into a four-year school. So these are really auditions for them to take that next step, and it's fun to see. And then, when they get drafted, like Sam Antonacci, who's a big Springfield, just a really, really talented player. He played for the Shoes in 22. We had him and got drafted by the White Sox last year.
Oh, really?
And that was cool.
Yeah, and how rewarding, right?
Yeah.
For you
Well-
guys to say, hey, we gave him an opportunity here. And
Well, for a short period of time, I mean, he was going to be talented. He's just a really special kid.
Yeah.
But to have the hometown kid play in the Shoes uniform means a lot.
That's cool.
So we're actually doing his bobblehead day this year as a first shoe that got drafted.
Awesome.
But it's fun. It's just such a good platform to connect people, highlight these young men. Yesterday we had a rain delay, so they all got in their uniforms and they went up in the stands and hung out with these kids that are youth teams. And it just it's a different vibe at this
cool.
level.
Yeah,
you
that's
never
neat.
see anything like that at Busch Stadium
No.
or, with the Cubs. But for us, we get a chance to have a true impact on the people.
I like it.
yeah, that's neat. You were talking about bus trips. What's the longest
Yeah.
trip?
Yeah. I was gonna
So
ask.
this year, I think for us, we're going down to Jackson, Tennessee. There's a team in Jackson, Tennessee now. We go down. In fact, next week we have a 6-day road trip. 4 of them are to Tennessee, over to Indiana, back to Normal, then back to Springfield. So that's the furthest we have to go. We did host a team from Johnstown, Pennsylvania, this past weekend.
So does that mean
a
you
hike.
have to go there next
I
year?
hope not. I hope not. We're not interested in that trip out to Pennsylvania. That's a little far, but good group of people. And our league footprint at 18 teams is really cool. I mean, it's a really big league, and it's growing in popularity. And as far as the talent that's playing in the league's growing in a positive direction.
How are you guys doing this year?
We're doing good. We're in first place. It's a little dubious. We're 5-5.
Okay.
So our division as a whole is not the strongest right now. But what you'll learn about these teams is it's really a 2 to 3 week process for them to kind of learn who they're coming from, playing all these different organizations.
Sure.
Right? It'd be the equivalent of you guys tomorrow going to work somewhere else and then
Right.
trying to start. Oh wow, how are we going to do this? We don't have any systems in place, or we don't know. Pitchers and catchers don't have any. Anything like, hey, what's your pitch?
Yeah,
What's
right.
going on? How do you like this? And so about 3 weeks in, we really start to see the teams. But I like the makeup. We're a hard-nosed team. We play hard. What I love is when the kids come off the field, they're dirty. They're really dirty. And I'm like, they've been sliding around, diving for balls.
That's great.
And it's just, that's the type team. I think that represents Springfield, blue collar, hard
I
nosed.
like it.
We're going to go play hard.
Yeah.
We don't have the flashiest team. When you look at our roster, you don't see, 35 Division I players, but I like our kids hard. They play hard, and they're entertaining. They are fun to watch.
I like it.
Yeah.
I know we're
cool.
looking forward to getting out to the ballpark.
I'm looking forward to seeing
Yeah.
your first pitch.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, we might have to get you in that Legends game if you can sit some people
Right,
down.
let him make him the pitcher of that. Hey, well, this has been good. So we always, you've spent a lot of years in the baseball world, which is really cool. And I'm kind of a sports junkie, so to me, it's even more cool.
Yeah.
But no matter what people's story is, we always ask folks as we wrap up, if you could look back 25, 30 years and give your younger self some advice based on your last 25, 30
Sure.
years of life, what would that advice be?
Focus on the things that matter. I think for me, I wanted to be a major league GM when I first got in, and I was just hustling, work. And this past year has been a tough year. We lost my father-in-law unexpectedly, and my uncle passed. He had ALS, which was a very tough disease to
Yes.
see.
Yeah.
But, focus on the moments and things that matter, time with people, our loved ones. And I would tell my younger self, it's okay to have aspirations and work hard, but you also need to make sure that it's a balance.
Sure.
And I think that comes with maturity. At 46 now, when I'm 21, all I want to do is how can I be the youngest general manager at minor leagues and then AA, AAA. And I just had this outlook of I want to keep going as fast as possible and not really worried about like, hey, is this a meaningful, positive relationship? And I think that's a maturity thing that you learn as you go. But I would snag my young self
Right.
and probably put a whooping on them and
Yeah.
say, hey, less of that and a little bit more of caring for the people that are in your life while they're in your life.
right now.
Yeah. Great
Yeah.
advice.
Kinda what
We hear
Ken
this
said.
answer often.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I-
it's-
If I
it's
could,
that.
right, and it is a maturity thing. It's a life thing. It's we
Yeah.
gain wisdom as we have experience, and
Yeah.
a lot of things I wish I could do different from that perspective, especially.
And you realize
is
we're
to
not
slow down
invincible.
and enjoy
Yeah.
them. Yes, for
Yeah.
sure.
And
for
that's the thing where it kind of catches you, and I say divine intervention because it's the good Lord kind of tags you and says, hey,
Yeah.
maybe those things that you think are so important are
Right,
not quite as
are not.
important as you
Yeah.
maybe think they are. But again, it's also such a blessing to get to do what we do. I mean, I can't tell you how much fun it is. It's just awesome to be here, and we're working on our third team. We're applying for another team, so it's kind of like having kids. We keep going. So we have 5 other partners, and but I'm super excited the future, and man, it's just been a good ride for 3 years now, and hopefully a ton more years.
Awesome.
Good stuff. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, appreciate
thanks
you
for
guys letting me
on.
come
Sure,
over.
it's
It's
been
awesome.
good.
I love the
Yeah.
table.
Yep.
Yeah,
you
good
bet.
luck to you, and we'll see you, if not before, on July 2nd for the
Yeah.
opening
Yeah,
pitch
we'll
over
be
here.
here.
I'll-
Absolutely. Go Shoes.
Yeah, sounds good.
Thank
Thank you.
All right.